Okay, y'all, I wanted to make a video about these ICT indicators. So I use the ICT everything, ICT sessions, right? One set for life. And I switched to ICT kills on and pivots because a lot of people like it. This is the one I use. And I realized there's so much more on this one that the ICT kills on pivots just doesn't have. Now, if you don't need it, it's fine. But let me talk about things that it has that you can add. So it has the same thing. It has the swing highs and swing lows and the liquidity points that are taken and all these things. We're just trading. Yeah, I got stopped out going bearish, then we went up, and then now we're going back bearish. However, they have the midnight open on this one and the 8:30 open horizontal line. Then it has this RTH gap. So we swept liquidity in the RTH gap. That could have been a good sign for buys. And obviously your London high swept, boom. And the SMT, no, well, no, at this high we didn't sweep at this high, but all the highs are swept on NQ. And with ICT kills on the pivots, it won't let you have these times. It won't. It just won't let you have these times if you want. Obviously, these lines are insane and they're too big. I had the ICT everything indicator because I was using the ICT kill zones and pivots. I honestly could take this off now, but I do still like the midnight vertical line. So I'm going to leave that, but I could take off these. I can take off the vertical lines. Where are they? I technically can take these off and just leave like that, the vertical line. Because now I have the midnight with my ICT kill zones. But when I mean my ICT sessions, when I had ICT kill zones, I had to add this cold wash, the ICT everything indicator, because it didn't have the midnight open and the 8:30 open. So now that I have that, now I only use it for this midnight vertical line. If that makes sense. So only time I use it now because now my ICT everything indicator, which is the one I love, has the midnight 8:30 open lines for you. Mine are just extremely big and obnoxious, and I need to make them smaller and better colors. The ICT everything indicator is a cute gray, like more, you know, discreet if that's what you want. However, I like it the way it is. I have an SMT indicator on thanks to Ivan. I do have a new day opening gap, new week opening gap, which is this purple, because sometimes I forget to look for it. Like I said, it just helps me not forget to look at all these things. I get it. People love telling me my chart looks insane. But that's why I get on the chart 5 minutes before the market. Today I got on 15 minutes before the market, and that's why I got in early and gotten down here. We came up, and then boom, I had a terrible entry. And I scaled back in when we went down. It was just terrible, 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 terrible. Versus here, I get on, I see the daily profile, I see the SMT because sometimes it looks the same, but it's really just like this high was taken and this one wasn't, vice versa. Versus like if you just looked, it might look like, oh, the same. Because oh, the high is taken. Like no, like you can see there's SMT here for this London session. That's why we reversed at London. We don't trade London, but you can see it with these indicators versus it might look the same without the indicators. Then but yeah, then the midnight open, because you want to be in shorts above the midnight open, you want to be in longs below, which even in the choppy market it played out because I got in this shorts. I wanted it down to this low first. Then if you wanted buys, you got buys at the liquidity sweep below midnight open to the London high. Then once we took out London line, then we took up my target, these lows. So I just wanted these lows at 9:30. I started trading at 9:30 again. And sometimes you get stopped out like this. But most of the time it's been working for me since in January. It's been working for me. Let's see if it continues to work for me. But I've been getting it at 9:30 like yesterday. Yeah, I got in shorts right at 9:30 out of this 15-minute variety gap. So like there's days where it's just you're at the top, and there's days where it wants to go up a little higher first and stop you out. That's what it did on Friday. It came down. I should move my stop to break even though. Came up, stopped me out, and then went my way. Because if I'm stopped out at break even, I'll get back in a trade. If I take a loss, my rule is like it's just a wash. You gotta just come back another day, which is gonna happen. Sometimes it happens. That's just what happens. But at least you'll know. When I took this short, I would have known to sell in the middle of this RTH gap after this liquidity sweep, which I wanted to with my stop to break even here, but like I said, I got in before 9:30 and got in down here, so it was no point. However, I was gonna move my stop to break even here. My TP was like here. Versus if I waited till 9:30, I probably could have had to stop at break even and then got back in at 9:45. That's why you follow your rules. I got in like 9:25. Not good. But this is why, like I said, the ICT sessions indicator is better, especially if you're a beginner. It shows you your midnight open, you know, your RTH gap, your 8:30 open if you want. You can take the 8:31 off, and then you don't have to chart. And then I see everything. If you like the kill zones and pivots, it's still a good indicator. Then you use ICT everything. It'll give you your midnight open, and it can still give you 8:30 at midnight if you want it. I think that's really all. I obviously use the fair value gap indicator, as I've seen for previous videos, but I think, like I've said, I'm an indicator queen, so I just wanted to see if there's any that I prefer that are better. All breaker blocks terrible. I do use the buy side sell side liquidity on my lower time frames. I really enjoy it because it can show you a small one on like the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. Like I said, ICT higher time frame is way better than the power of 3 by 2 degrees. It shows you more swings. It can show you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, which this higher time frame one, I don't think it'll show you multiple candles unless you buy the buy the real one, the upgraded one. Versus with ICT, everything I don't use anymore because I just do top down analysis. And my computer, I need a new computer with better RAM, but I can show you what it looks like. See, it shows you more than just one candle. And it prints in real time. It's printing. It shows you a bunch. And then you can obviously get rid of these. You can do like just the 15 and just the hour. I think this is the hour, 4-hour daily, weekly. You can do just the 4-hour daily. And then obviously when you go on a lower time frame, like the 5 minute, it'll be 15, 1 hour, 4-hour. When you go on the 1 hour, it's 4-hour daily. You know what I'm saying? It'll show you 4 if you want them. But it shows you a bunch, and then you have your fair value gaps. It shows you your fair value gaps as well. The higher time frame by 2 degrees does not show you that unless obviously you buy the whatchamacallit, the fancy one. But with this one, ICT higher time frame candles is free. It's free. So that's why I'm like, I am an indicator queen. Everyone hates that I am. Like, that's the whole point of ICT. It was like, oh, you don't need indicators. But for me, ICT is not, it's not none of his indicators are data driven like EMA or RSI. That's like, you shouldn't lean mostly on those. Like a moving average. It's not. It's just like, this is when midnight opened. It did. Midnight opened at this price. 8:30 opened at that price. London's high was here. London's low. There's no data that's like driving it to the point where it's like inaccurate. Like, no, that's the high. You would mark that high by yourself, and now you're just marking it now. Same with SMT. That low was lower. That low was higher. It's SMT. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not one of those indicators like other ones that like you should not rely only on MACD RSI because they could be inaccurate or like they're just everything is random. So yes, it's data driven, but all these things. However, some of these I don't even need in here. Order block don't like. Actually, let's take some of these off. Don't need that. I always like an MMA cross sometimes. Price action concepts don't need that. Silver bullet was a good one when I was trading just a silver bullet. It marked out the times, marked out the liquidity sweeps, and then provided gaps just in that hour. I'm not buying the expensive one, but I always keep higher time frame 2 degrees because honestly, if you just want one candle, like now I trade 200 ticks, so I really only need the 15-minute candle or the 1-hour candle at 9:30. Where is it going in the next 30 minutes? So I could use that indicator. I don't, but like I said, it's in the favorites for that reason. Equal highs and lows. I did not like it. Ivan suggested this one. I didn't like it, but I favorited it anyway. Session breaks I did use before, but now I use ICT. Everything. I think a bunch of these were old session indicators, like the Forex ones. The regular indicator, the little boxy ones people use that are just not ICT based. Relative strength index, no. Super trend is the algo. It works really well with EMA. If you like those like buy sell thingies, it wasn't as bad. Trend line breaks, I was testing them out. Volume is not my thing. Everyone likes volume. But these are the ones. Smart money concepts is decent if you trade order blocks or supply and demand zones. It shows you nice supply and demand zones. I can show you what it looks like this. These, demand zones, order blocks, if that's how you trade, it puts them out for you. I don't trade that way. But I thought it would be more S&T with like fair value gaps, but you can add fair value gaps to it, but it's not one of those ones. So they're decent. But if you had to pick kill zones, ICT kill zones and pivots, or this one, ICT sessions, I think this one is obviously better. Now, do with that what you will, because the ICT kill zones and pivot is the same. It'll just show the sessions. It doesn't show like these opening prices, and it shows the opening price for the previous day as well. If you like to trade that, like maybe this is how you trade, you would have gotten your buys off of this previous day below the midnight of the previous day. I don't know. People trade all different kind of ways, and there's no wrong way to trade. That demand zone, as you see, is getting ran through. That's why I personally don't trade them. However, it still holds. And then I've seen people add liquidity. So maybe once it sweeps the liquidity out of this zone, then you're gonna look for longs if that's your thing. It's just not mine. So today was just one of those days I should have waited for London to get swept first. Let's look on the 5-minute chart. Like I said, yeah, I was in. Yeah, I was in this short, but I got in early. No. Yeah, I was in this short. We swept this high. I got in early and said went to 9:30. If I would got 9:30, I could have caught this liquidity sweep and got in, and then got stopped at break even. Because obviously this looks crazy on the 5-minute chart, but on the 2 and the 3, it's not as bad. And obviously I trade the 2 and the 3 or the 1, so I don't wait 5 minutes for an entry. So you see, it was looking like it was going to continue to go down, and then obviously it went up, stopped me out to the macro. Now some people just trade the macro on 10 o'clock, but I know like yesterday and other days, I've been getting in the top of the move, and then it wants to like chop at 10, 9:40. That's why I was like, I like to catch the top, and then if there's days where it's just clean for the 9:40 people, it just is, and that's okay. That's okay. But like I said, if I had to pick between the two, ICT sessions is the better indicator for me. I like not doing anything. I like to get on the chart and say, oh, daily profile, are we bearish? I thought we were. We clearly are. I just didn't account for this higher time frame liquidity sweep. But we did sweep this liquidity here, which is all I really needed, and then went lower and then stopped me out, and then it just happens. I take one trade a day, so that is what it is. And but I knew where my midnight open was. I knew where my 8:30 open was, and that is what it is. We were above both, just not this high above both. And it is what it is. Because sometimes, we get like the London is the manipulation, and then we just continue lower. We don't sweep the high. We sweep this internal high, and then we just go lower. So if you're a super, super beginner and you would love this, get that. If this is obviously too much for you, I totally understand. Or again, you could have this on, mark out what you need to mark off, and just turn it off. Mark out your highs and lows, and then turn it off. But you see how much work, then boom, boom. You're just like, oh. You cleaned your chart up. You have your London high sweep. You have your target maybe at this low here, if that's what you were waiting for. And then you can just turn it off, and then wait for your liquidity for value gap. If you didn't know that was a London high maybe, and you weren't waiting for that, and you only marked out this high, and you got stopped out, then it is what it is. Or you sold early and you have your target here. Like I said, my target is 200 ticks. I don't wait for this anymore. But when I used to trade last year, I knew there was a liquidity point I was going to take, and honestly, I would have taken just this one, or in between this gap was my target today, this morning, from here. Then I almost put my stop to break even, like I said, here. But like I said, I got in here, not waiting for 9:30. If I got in up here, stop would have been moved to break even, and I would have got stopped out, and I could have got back in. And since I do 200 ticks, I can trade against the trend exactly. Like I could have took this trade and I'd been done instead of waiting for the reversal. But yeah, that's it. So do with that what you will. Like I said, I'm an indicator queen. To me, it helps. It keeps me patient. It keeps me sometimes keeps me patient. Obviously, I have patient problems like we all do, but it keeps me patient the most. I know to wait for like above the midnight open, above London. I was today, like I said, I wanted just a midnight open. I wasn't expecting this because there are days where you're not gonna get that. There's days where it's just gonna, like this. London high is not swept. We came back up and we came back into a rag gap and then continued lower. London was the manipulation, and then we swept this high. Maybe the bigger rundown was more confirmation than this, but that's still a decent rundown to me. So it is what it is. The stock market's unpredictable, so you just gotta risk what you want. Or if you're gonna trade twice and make your money back, you do that. But for me right now, I'm not. So do with that what you will.